Hey guys, we are back again with another episode of Just Questions, but this time it is an extra spooky episode of Just Questions for Halloween. For this episode, Just Questions, which is coming out on Halloween, hopefully, I have some Halloween related questions, but if we go past these questions, Blake also has some non-related Halloween questions. So let's just start this right away.
All right.
So just to start this off, my first question is: are you a fan of horror movies in general?
Oh, me? No way, dude. I've never liked horror movies, to be honest. I can't really say why. I think it's just because when I was little, I got like terrified of one, and I had like
Hmm.
nightmares for like a couple days, and I was just like, I can't do that stuff. So
Yeah, I would say the same. I'm not really a horror movie guy. I I guess I only like it if there's something different about it. Like my two favorite ones, or those are really the only ones I like that much. Is first is Scream, and then
hmm
Cabin in the Woods.
hmm
But that's because Scream and Cabin in the Woods, they play off of horror movies and they kind of point out certain cliches in them and things like that.
yeah,
Especially Cabin in the Woods, which isn't a horror movie; it's more of a comedy. But
hmm
it's like a love letter to horror movies,
hmm
or maybe just like silly, goofy ones that aren't scary, like Jason X. I love Jason X.
hmm
You know what that one is, right? Jason in Space.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's stupid. It's not scary. It's ridiculous, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like horror movies if like they're not scary at all, or like there's something unique about it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah. So second question, what was your scariest childhood movie? It didn't have to be a horror movie, like, but just what was the scariest movie for you when you were a kid?
The scariest movie for me when I was a kid. I actually, dude, I can't tell you that. I can't even remember the movie that traumatized me, honestly. But um, because okay, well, for the record, because my aunt is like the biggest horror nut I think I've ever seen. Like bloody, gory, like anything scary is like her thing, and she watches it
Oh
like
wow.
on like a yearly basis. Like it doesn't have to be Halloween; it could be whatever.
Wow,
But
that's interesting.
and I used to go over there a lot, and uh, she used to have all these horror stuff on, and I like that. Her house like traumatized me. The only thing that like saved me while I was there was my cousin, my much older cousin Will, who like showed me Pokemon and showed me like Smash Brothers and Mario Tennis and all this stuff. So that's where I like I kind of went. But in terms of what was the scariest thing, I honestly can't remember.
There wasn't a movie like that she showed you that just freaked you out.
No, man, because as far as I remember, everything on that TV was evil. Like I was just like, oh, I can't watch anything on here. I'm out. Goodbye. So yeah, I
Yeah.
was just like, no
Okay.
way.
Okay. Well, for me, my scariest childhood movie would be Scooby Doo Goes to Zombie Island.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because, yeah, because Scooby Doo was generally monsters don't exist. It's always these people through their greed or different motivations like that. Like those are the people. Like
Yeah.
monsters aren't real. It's just people manipulating these kind of things.
hmm
But Scooby Doo Goes to Zombie Island was such a turning point because it was kind of like a sequel to the show where all the characters moved apart, but then they said, "Oh, we're gonna go on another expedition together to try to find some real hauntings." And
Yeah.
then they go to this island and they find out that first, like there are hauntings at this island. There's zombies, and then the people that brought them over are werewolves. That not just werewolves, but they bring people over to the island, take their souls, and that turns them into the zombies that they ran into.
Hmm.
And that was just like super scary. I love the movie, and there's just so many scary parts where you think the characters would die. Like you see some of the zombies were close to getting Scooby at one point, like, oh my gosh, get out of the mud. No.
Actually, no. Now that you mention it, dude, like I remember, I don't remember how many I had, but I remember I having 2 Scooby Doo movies, and one of them scared the living crap out of me. The first one was an alien one, and I actually kind of thought that one was funny.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good one. Scooby Doo and the Alien Invaders.
Yeah, something like that. And it turns
Yeah,
out
that was
like
a good one.
the dog and her owner are
Hmm.
like aliens, and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. But the other one, I think it was like the witch's ghost or something like that.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
one freaking scared the crap out of me. I remember watching that when I was however young, and that scared me. And then I went back as like I don't know, I was like 10 or 12, watching it again,
Hmm.
and I got like the weirdest, like creepiest vibes from it. I was like, why is this scaring me so much? I remember when it got to the part where like he's summoning like the witch's ghost, I was like, okay, I can't watch this anymore. This is really creeping me out, and I like had to turn it off. And like I remember I was like, why did that scare me so much? It's Scooby freaking Doo.
Yeah,
Like
no. Yeah, those three movies, Zombie Island, Witches, Ghosts, and Alien Invaders, those kind of
mhm.
like mix it up a bit. And
Yeah.
especially Zombie Island and Witches, Ghosts, those were the scariest ones.
Yeah, the older like the that modern bridge of like Scooby Doo movies started taking itself really seriously, and like really
Yeah,
it got
which was
creepy.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it was
cool.
interesting to see. I'll say the least. I think I love Scooby Doo. So,
Yeah. Okay, so my third question is, what is your favorite monster? It doesn't have to be an iconic monster. It can be, or it can be like a monster character, like anybody from Monsters Inc. counts, or different TV shows like that.
mm, well, there's a lot to choose from. In terms of like monster, I've always kind of liked the idea of like Godzilla, like just a giant
Ooh, yeah.
monster. I like Godzilla. Like I haven't seen the older movies just because they got really freaking ridiculous, and
Hmm.
like Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla 9000, or
Yeah.
even a freaking space Godzilla. Like what the heck?
Hmm.
But I always did like the mythology and like the idea behind Godzilla, like a giant monster that we literally cannot stop. So I thought he was really cool. In terms of like I guess more um, how do I say this? More like less monstery. I guess I'd have to say Sully from Monsters Inc. because I love that character. Like he was
Yeah.
just immediately appealing to me as a kid, and I actually have a really unique story with Monsters Inc. I remember going into that theater, and as I forget how old I was. I was really little though, and a movie about monsters is a movie that the kid does not want to see. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of like shivering. I'm scared, and then like it comes on, and I'm like, this is a really good movie. Like I love this movie, and I wasn't scared anymore at all. Like I was like, wow, a movie about monsters didn't scare me, and I think that's Sully made that for me because like he was scary, but like he's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
that's a cool story.
how about you, man?
I guess for more iconic, um, oof, that's a bit tough. I guess I would say Dracula,
Mm,
just because I think Dracula is so iconic, and but then those like the old movies with Dracula, that was so scary.
hmm
Just like before Twilight was a thing, just the idea of vampires was just so scary that
hmm
at any point they can just get you.
Yeah. No. Exactly. I agree.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
but yeah, but before I was thinking iconic, I was also thinking Monsters Inc.
Hmm
And I was thinking, oh, Sully's pretty great. But I was like, you know who I love more? Mike Wazowski.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I just love Mike. I love his design.
hmm
It's so simple but so amazing, and he's such a good friend to Sully.
hmm
As we see how they break apart, but then they come back together,
Yeah.
and that was just so amazing. And I just love how supportive Mike is, and then also I don't care what anybody says. If I were to see Mike in real life, I would be scared.
Yeah. No. I'd agree with
I don't know what those kids were thinking in Monsters University, but
that.
I would be so scared if I saw Mike in real life. I
No.
don't know why those kids were so happy.
Man.
I'd be so terrified.
Yeah. No. Me too, dude. Because he's just a giant eyeball. Like, oh my.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
It's freaking terrifying.
I mean, I thought he was more scary than I forgot his name. It was like the blob, the short white blob.
Short white blob.
They lived at his house, like his mom. he was. Do you remember that
I
guy?
think I know who you're talking about, but
Because I thought Mike was way scarier than him,
yeah,
but I don't know.
no, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so Mike Wazowski.
Oh, that's really cool, dude. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
well, good choices. Good choices.
yes. So the last horror movie question. Who do you consider the most iconic horror movie villain?
The most iconic.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I mean, I feel like Dracula would probably be number one, just
Hmm.
because I feel like if you were to walk down the street and ask, you know, who's the who's the first like horror villain that pops in your head, and I feel like people would probably be like, well, Dracula. But I feel like more modern ones would pop up, like Freddy Krueger, Jason. I guess Predator or something like that. You know what I mean? Those kind of villains
Hmm.
they'd probably pop up. But I feel like Dracula would probably be more prominent just because he's kind of legendary in the sense that like historically, like he's actually kind of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like that from what I know about that book, and I don't know very much, but from what I understand, that book is actually like based on like historical like twisted history, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
It's pretty
mystery.
cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I was thinking more modern. I didn't even
Yeah.
consider because I guess because I said not Halloween, but like horror movie. But I guess those are kind of.
Mhm.
But in terms of old, yeah, Dracula, I would say the same thing.
Mhm.
But for like the modern horror movie villains, I guess I would say Michael Myers
Yeah.
because the movie is called Halloween, and that's one of the first things I think of personally
Mhm.
when you say Halloween. I think of the movie with Michael Myers,
Yeah.
and it's just because Jason is this, I don't know, like he's immortal.
Mhm.
He died and came back to life, and Freddy on a whole nother plane with the dreams.
Yeah.
But before, I guess, like in the beginning, before they made Michael also immortal, he
Mhm.
was just this scary idea just because it was just a kid who went crazy for some reason and killed his mom.
Yeah.
Like, I think like that was just one of the most terrifying things. Like he was just a regular kid that just went crazy for some reason that we don't know of.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah. So I would say Michael Myers for modern horror movies.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's I would agree with that too. I'd say he'd pop up too if you were to like
Yeah.
ask people, take a survey or whatever.
A survey.
Yeah, just walk down the street. Who's the scariest Halloween character ever? I feel like you'd get a lot of diversity in that because people's definition of horror has like changed over the years, and like I feel like horror has kind of gotten away from the like the this villain is going to kill you idea, and more so the like this is
Yeah,
like
just the gore and
yeah,
slap. I don't know,
like the paranormal
like the Saw
activity.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that stuff, and then like the Saw movies, like where it's scary because it's absolutely disgusting. Like
yeah.
I keep hearing those
It's
movies because those movies are popping up everywhere, like the Green
mhm.
Inferno, Mama. I'm just like, that's who makes this stuff? Like, who makes these movies? They're
Yeah.
terrible.
It's more on like the gore and the shock value rather than the actual scares like they were
Hmm.
before.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's
Yeah, like
just
even like even with the beginning of these modern horror movie villains, like Freddy and Michael Myers, like that was scary, but now it's just like gore and all
hmm
that,
yeah, like
which
you,
is
you
kind of
yeah.
odd.
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head right there. Is with the shock value, like it's disturbing, scary. You know what I mean? Because it's just like
Yeah,
it totally puts you off because you're not scared because like of like someone's going to jump out at you. It's scary because you're watching someone get like ripped apart by whatever, and that's just like, oh, like that's gross. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
that's just like that. It's that cringing idea that God, how does that feel? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. So
this. Ugh. Ugh.
yes, that's the end of this episode. That was good. 4 questions got us to 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was actually really good. Nice
Yes,
short little episode. Johnny, where'd you go? Oh, am I alone? Am I alone on this channel?